Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and if you are new to my channel, hello, welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing for lots more diamond painting content. And if you are back, welcome back. My apologies that my voice is a little bit froggy today, but I really wanted to work on getting some content to you this week, and that includes this a little bit belated post review of one of my recently completed diamond painting kits. This is June Blooms by the artist Margaret Morales, and this is from DIY Moonshop or Die Moonshop. I have my logbook here, which is where I track all of my completed diamond painting projects. And I like to make notes on things like I track the stats of different kits, and so here are the stats of what we're working with here. I got this kit in the size 50 by 65 centimeters. It's listed as 36 colors, but actually it's 35 because one of them is you have the option of swapping in an AB. That was in the color 310. I got this one in round drills, and I started it on March 29th, 2023 and finished it on April 9th, 2023. It's my 120th finish of all time. And then I have some of my loves and my notes. I wanted to let you guys know because there are some different DIY Moonshop kits floating around out there, including some past post reviews that you may have seen on my channel, where they had changed manufacturers in like mid like 2021. And so the easiest way to really tell the difference is if you look at the bottom of the canvas. If you see a legend on the canvas, that means that it is one of their newer kits. You'll also know if it's a newer kit because it comes in a box. But just if you're going back and looking at previously completed projects, whether it's pictures or post review videos on YouTube or something like that, that's a really good way to tell the difference. And so I wanted to point that out to you guys. When I ordered this kit, I ordered it in, let me see, May of 2022. And so to my knowledge, this is still the kit that is available for purchase. When I purchased this kit, I believe there was only one size listed as available, which was that 50 by 65 centimeters. The last time that I checked, there are some other sizes available. There's a smaller size and there is a larger size. You also have the option of choosing between round and square drills. And in this one, obviously, I chose round. So this is one of my favorite artists. I really love Margaret Morales artwork, and I think it's the original artwork, which I did show here. And you know what I'll also do though is I'm going to pop it up on the screen for you guys so you can see this original artwork. I think it's incredibly sweet and incredibly dreamy, and being that it's, at least at the time of this filming, it's in the spring for where I live, and I just thought I was really in the mood to work on a Margaret Morales kit as well as to work on something that felt like it had really spring vibes. So I have several Margaret Morales kits in my stash from DIY Moonshop, and this was the one that I decided to go with. I wanted to talk, there's kind of a lot I want to talk about today actually for this particular kit. So let me first tell you about some of the things I did enjoy about this kit. So I thought that this size with all things sort of being equal, I thought this size was appropriate for the subject matter. I think that this is probably a good size point for it. This kit, it did have a lot of confetti, but I expect a lot of confetti when it comes to an art style like Margaret Morales that is a bit softer, a little bit more whimsical, and has more of almost like a watercolor effect. And so it did have a lot of confetti, but that was not surprising to me. I kind of went in expecting that. This did have 35/36 colors, depending on, like I said, they offered the option of choosing if you wanted to use a regular 310 drill or the AB. They include both with their kits. I do like that they offer this option so that you can decide if you want to add those special drills in. I decided not to because the 310 AB it's pretty striking, and I didn't think that it would totally work with this particular artwork, especially the areas where the black are. It really is in like the shadows and whatnot. Not really areas that I wanted to draw attention to necessarily. So I did not add in those ABs, and I didn't add in any other enhancement drills either. I had a pretty good experience with the drills themselves. I don't know if they're resin or acrylic drills. I think they're acrylic, but I'm not sure. I don't tend to have a strong opinion on resin versus acrylic when it comes to round drills, because it tends to be less of a factor just for me personally, because there's, you know, with square drills, they push up close against each other. It matters more. It is what it is. So that wasn't a huge factor. I had enough drills in every color. I had plenty left over. I do like the canvas material since they made these upgrades in 2021, or these changes rather. I do like the canvas material. It's nice that the canvas is finished. It's laying flat decently well. I did have it rolled loosely and the ends are curling up just a little bit, but like that's not a huge deal to me in my opinion. The printing on the canvas was decently clear. It does use exclusively alphanumeric symbols, so just letters and numbers. Some people really love that. I could take or leave it. I sometimes like when there are symbols mixed in because it stands out to my eye a little bit easier. There were a couple of symbols that that did look a bit similar to one another. So specifically, we have the number 5 and the letter S that on the canvas were really, really similar to one another. And so I was really trying to look really closely to make sure I didn't mix those two up. Here you can see I did have plenty left over in all the colors. I'm trying to remember if there were any others that were similar. The B and the H were a little bit similar because it's the same, like they're both lowercase and they're both white on a blue background. But I did okay with those two, and those were really similar colors, so it wouldn't have been a huge deal if I mixed them up. I do know that like I've given them the feedback about these really similar symbols, and I know others have before, so I'm guessing that maybe they just, that's not a change that their manufacturer can make. So I guess, you know, you can try a light pad or some good overhead lighting and see if that helps you differentiate, and maybe that does the trick. So anyway, I like the artists that Dye Moon Shop licenses with. They do have some really fantastic artists. Margaret Morales, like I said, she's one of my favorites. She's been a longtime favorite of mine. And I love the opportunity to get to work on her paintings in diamond painting form. Now, I do have to now shift into, like, I'm not really excited about this part, but I'm going to try to just present you guys just what I'm seeing and let it kind of be up to you to make a decision about how you feel about this. So I have to say that I am a bit disappointed in the rendering of this piece and how it turned out. I will tell you up front that when you're looking through a camera lens in a video feed or in a picture, it is going to clarify a lot of these details and make sense of colors in a way that it truly does not look in person. The best way that I can show you and kind of give you a sense of how it looks in person is to bring you up just a little bit closer. So I want to bring you up to a couple of different points in particular. So first, you guys, we have her face. Her skin is, there's not really a lot of color blending going on here. It goes from shades of gray and lavender to a bright peach color. And to me, this is a bit jarring and it stands out in a way that I'm unsure of. And like I said, through the camera, it kind of almost makes sense of that, but in person it's pretty stark. Her hand, we have similar going on. Now in the original artwork, we do have like some lighter colors here in her hand, but it is blended a bit more smoothly and subtly than that. And so I'm unsure how I'm not really a fan of it, unfortunately. And then we have her neck. We have kind of some peaches, some bright corals and browns. Let me go into some grays. This is like the top of her chest and torso is in here. And then in her hair, we have there's a couple of colors in here that I find to be very characteristic of kind of a pure computer rendering. This bright coral color and this bright maroon color. which we see those spotted throughout these flowers, which are otherwise really nice pale pastels. We see that coral and that maroon. We see that those colors up in here. We see it in her hair. Man, yeah, those bright, hot. It's like a dark pink, hot pink. And then her eyebrow has some greens and bright pinks. Those colors, the corals and that bright maroon, which and when you pull back and you see it, you can really see it dotted through here. That is something that I feel like often happens. There's the bright corals down in here. That is typically what happens with a computer rendering when it's trying to make sense of some color blending. It's one of those things that when you pull back far enough, like pretty far, or if you're looking at it through a camera lens, or just depending on what your personal preference is, that will help your eye make sense of these color shifts and these transitions. I am not a huge fan of them personally, but please know that this is just my personal opinion. I just want to show you what I am seeing and give you the most accurate look at this canvas as I possibly can, so that you can make a really informed decision about what you're purchasing and just knowing what you are going to get. And if you love it, wonderful. If it's not your jam, then now you know. So either way, this is purely informative, and I am sharing some of my personal preferences. One other area, well, it's kind of throughout, but the leaves, unfortunately, I thought I would have liked to see a little bit more clarity, even at this size point, especially if you look at the original artwork. You can see that the leaves do have, I know there's some tape over some of it, the leaves have a little bit more clarity to them. And this overall, this piece just has a bit of a speckled effect. And it's one way to interpret this artwork. I am not sure. It's not how I would prefer to see this artwork translated, but it is what it is. So we see some sprinkling through some of these flowers, but it kind of comes together. And then some of these flowers are really lovely, like this patch of flowers over here, and some of these down here are really nice. I guess there are some, yeah, there's some leaves going through right here that those do make a little more sense in the camera as well. By the way, I'm going to be sure that when this video goes up, I'm going to make sure that the colors are as true as possible to what you're seeing in person. I don't do heavy editing on or color correcting on my videos unless it's to make sure that it is accurate to what's being seen in person. So please rest assured that I am trying to keep this as accurate as possible, like I said, so just so you are fully informed about what to expect. But I did, now of course, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I didn't like something or it wasn't to my preference or how I thought maybe could really truly do the artwork justice. I didn't just sit here to say all that to you guys. I did send I tried to be very, very respectful and very gracious and just very like thorough and detailed and specify, like I sent lots of pictures over to this shop to let them know just what my experience was and to just send what I felt like my thoughts were. And just as an opinion. And I was really clear. I said, I'm not asking for anything in return. I'm not asking for a refund or anything at all. I just want to let you know what my thoughts are and maybe a sense for what I've seen in the community from some people. And this was also echoing some really detailed feedback that I had sent back in, I went back and looked. It was November of 2021 and some emails where we went back and forth between November of 2021 and January of 2022, where I had bought some of their new kits. I actually worked on 3 different kits that were from, since they had changed manufacturers, where we're seeing a lot of their kits now have fewer colors. Before, a lot of their kits had colors that were in the 40s. Some of their kits from the new manufacturer do still have that 40-ish, 50-ish colors, but most of the ones that I have in my stash and that I have worked on have been more in this like 35-ish range. I worked on 3 different kits, specifically Guys by Anna Dittman. I actually completed a good portion of that in like this new set of changes, and I was comparing it actually side by side with the original version that I had completed, and that original version, which I had done I think at the end of 2020, maybe beginning of 2021, was one of my favorite completed diamond painting kits ever. I thought it was masterfully rendered and absolutely gorgeous. So I sent them some side by side thoughts. I completed part of a kit that's no longer listed on the website called the Foxy Book Lover by Leoba Bruckner. And then I completed the kit Nebulae also by Leoba Bruckner. And I had sent them feedback on all three, with pictures on all three of these kits. And when I went back and reread that, it was very, very similar to the feedback I shared with them and my thoughts on the rendering and the colors in this kit. So all this to say, whatever your thoughts and opinions are, like whether you like this or not, I think it's fair to say that this is gonna be maybe just consistently, this is what their rendering style is going to be, because it has been the same since a year and a half ago. So you can totally take that as you will. I just wanted to let you know and be totally transparent. So they did respond to my email when I emailed them about this one, and they were very respectful when they emailed back and how they started and said, your advice is much appreciated. Kindly note that we're trying to make many people happy, so there will always be someone that will be upset, so it's always tricky, and this is why there is no consistency, but know that we're trying to make renders that we feel are good for the paintings and the experience. Take, for example, software updates. There's a wide spectrum of opinions on what has changed since the last update, but tough decisions have to be made. I can make another pass at it since you took the time to email us about your concerns, but letting you know that this year we've been adding more colors depending on the size and still removing beads that are trace amounts. Once again, thank you for sharing your concerns, but please know that we do this the best way we can for everyone's happiness. That's word for word just what they sent me. Just so you're aware, that is kind of their approach to how they're doing these kits. And it sounds like there are some people that are happy with how this turned out. So that is totally fine. This is purely my opinion. I'm just speaking for myself and what my experience was with working on this kit and how I sort of feel it's been translated from the original artwork. So you are more than welcome to disagree. You're more than welcome to agree. My goal with this review, as with all of my reviews, is just to be helpful to you and be informative. Wherever you land on it, is you get to decide, like, okay, yeah, no, this is absolutely what I want, or okay, I'm glad I know that this is, this is what it is. Either because yes, it is what you want, or no, it's not. So I'm going to leave that up to you guys. Like I said, you can disagree or agree. I'm gonna, one last thing that I am gonna do is I'm going to put up just a picture on the screen side by side that is gonna have in frame in full the original artwork side by side with the diamond painting, just so you can see it. And again, I am not doing any heavy color changes at all. I'm going to try to keep both of these as absolutely true to the actual colors in person as possible, and in hopes that that'll be helpful. So I did enjoy getting to work on a piece by Margaret Morales, in spite of what I've shared, and I do love this original artwork so much. So this, you guys, this is June Blooms, and this again is, like I just said, by Margaret Morales and from DIY Moonshop. And I hope that this reveal and post review was helpful to you. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that you guys are here. If you want to see lots more diamond painting content from me, including future reviews, I try to work on a variety of different diamond paintings from a variety of different diamond painting companies. Feel free to hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified when I share new videos, and leave any comments and your thoughts and everything down in the comment section below. All right, my friends, thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will chat with you in the next one. Bye.